Now, the world's emerging economy giants are showing a united front in their push for reforming the international monetary institutions. At a pivotal meeting, the leaders of Russia, Brazil, India, China and South Africa, or the so-called BRICS, have also decried the use of force in war-torn Libya. It's all part of their efforts to gain greater clout in global affairs. And artist Tessa Asilia now is in the Chinese resort of Sanya, where the gathering has been taking place.
In essence, what they really want is greater influence, both in the sphere of economics as well as politics. Where economics is concerned, they really do want to see major changes in the financial model that is existing today in order to benefit the developing countries, which, if you just look at the numbers, is a significant portion of the world's economic growth. They did mention this, the need for a new currency. Well, they did say they want a broad-based reform currency system, which basically means they do want to see another currency as a reserve currency rather than just the US dollar or the euro. We know that China is really pushing for the yuan to be in that position. They do want more say in the IMF, for example, and the World Bank. China certainly wants more voting shares in the World Bank. Now, they did, so at least the vision that they want in these regard, they have come to a consensus. Let's hear what President Medvedev had to say on these.
All BRICS countries have a common approach to the reform of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. We discussed the necessity of such reform at our meeting. We've reached a united position on this issue, as well as bringing down the volatility of world prices of agricultural products.
They're quick to point out that this grouping is not in any way to replace the existing groupings in the world, especially with developed countries. It is not to be against any of the organizations.
We're engaged in efforts to create a multipolar institutional order with no supremacy or dispute over areas of influence. BRICS is not organized against any group of countries. In fact, we work for global cooperation and governance mechanisms in line with the 21st century.
They have come out quite strongly with regard to the Libyan crisis. They really do see that the efforts being done there by NATO is against what they feel is the limit of that mandate, the UN Resolution 1973. Let's hear from President Medvedev, who did speak after the BRICS summit on the sidelines to some journalists to elaborate more on the matter.
The UN resolution must be fulfilled in accordance with the wording and meaning, and not with free interpretations of some states. Because what we agreed upon was a no-fly zone to stop the escalation of the conflict, so that we could separate the two sides. But what we're having now is a military operation. It may not be on the ground yet, but it's certainly going on up above. A number of countries were taking part, and then NATO stepped in. But the resolution doesn't say a word about it. That's why when I hear the resolution is bad, I disagree. The resolution is absolutely fine, but it must be fulfilled without exceeding the mandate it's based on.
Medvedev also did bring up the issue in the Ivory Coast, where there are two conflicting sides, and the UN stepping in to bring in peacekeeping troops, however, went far beyond that and had taken sides, according to what the president had said. And this is something he calls a dangerous tendency. Well, the sentiments echoed by President Medvedev was certainly also echoed by the other members of this BRICS grouping. Certainly India and Brazil wanting bigger say in the UN Security Council, wanting permanent seats. Why? Simply because they really want a stronger voice, that they want to be listened to when it comes to big political decisions such as the ones in Ivory Coast and in Libya.